Hello everybody, it's Red and welcome back to more Skyward Sword. Last time, we looked at a lot of cool things in this game. Not everything, absolutely not everything, but a lot of cool things that I didn't talk about in the previous episodes. This time, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna go over all the bikes and differences between normal mode and hero mode. Once again, for those of you who just happened to stumble upon this video, hi, I'm Red, I like video games, and hero mode is basically the hard mode in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. And the differences are not just in damage you take or damage you deal or whatever, there are quite a few differences. What are those, you ask? Well, the biggest reason speedrunners like to run this game in hero mode is that we can skip cutscenes. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword has this system where if the save file has played the cutscene once, it doesn't matter if you saved or not, the game will remember that, and then you're able to skip that cutscene. And in hero mode, you can skip every cutscene from the get-go. This ends up cutting down the total time of the run by somewhere between 2.5 to 4 hours. It's insane! And also for casuals, like myself, it ensures that the pace is never broken, so you just feel like a badass the whole time, just running from place A to place B, slashing through bokoblins and all that cool stuff. Second thing is that difficulty is increased. Link takes double damage and hearts never spawn in the field. That's right, heart flowers are gone and enemies don't drop health anymore. Unless you equip a heart medal that you collect from treasure chests that are unlocked by goddess cubes up in the sky. If you have a heart medal in your pocket, you can spawn not only heart flowers, but enemies will also drop hearts. This increase in difficulty makes the game so much more challenging, especially the demise fight. Hero mode is not for the faint of heart. There are a few strategies that casuals like myself can employ, which will basically revolve around any trip to the potion shop and sitting. Lots of sitting. Now, while skill will definitely play a big role in beating the game with no deaths, your biggest weapon is knowledge. Understanding enemy patterns, and especially boss patterns, is your strongest tool. Knowing every tool that's available to you can not only cut down fighting time, but it will also lower the risk of you taking any damage at all. Zelda is, knowledge is power. Since surviving is, as I said, your biggest challenge, remember this one word. Potions! Guardian potions, rejuvenating potions, health potions, potion medal, also shields, upgrades as soon as possible. Got the slingshot, upgrade to the scatter shot as soon as you have the chance. And the game's actually kinda nice on this department because every collectible you got in the previous playthrough will carry on to the hero mode file from the very beginning, allowing you to start your quest with heck, a Guardian Potion Plus, or a Heart Potion Plus Plus, or maxed out shields, or the scatter shot before ever even entering the deep woods. Yeah, take advantage of that! And in case you're wondering, if you finish a hero mode file, you will once again be asked to save. So everything that you collected in the hero mode file will carry on to the new hero mode file. Next up in the hero mode changes is that the Sheikah Stone has all the hints unlocked from the get-go. Yay. And the best change there is that you start off with the True Master Sword Skyward Strike. Damage, True Master Sword. Charge time, True Master Sword. Range, True Master Sword. The slash damage will still follow regular progression, increasing with each Sacred Flame you obtain, but the Skyward Strike itself max in the very beginning. This allows for some really fun fights where you just own hordes of bokoblins with one slice from another continent. And you may also be able to strike some goddess cubes much earlier than intended. And with the right damage planning, you can even one-cycle certain bosses. Here's a table detailing all the sword's attributes throughout the game. Only thing you have to watch for is making sure that what hits the enemy is the Skyward Strike itself. If you're too close, you'll end up hitting the enemy with a regular slash, which takes priority versus the Skyward Strike, so you deal slash damage. Just watch your range. The Water Dragon Scale spin move now consumes double air, so be mindful of that nunchuck. It also makes air potions a lot more useful than before. And the final change, the Lightning Round. I call the Lightning Round with Girahim 3, Lightning Round Plus. In Hero Mode, in Prison 3, Horde, Girahim 3, and Demise are all unlocked from the beginning. Here's a list of rewards per consecutive win. Getting the Hylian Shield in Hero Mode will be harder, Not just because of the double damage you take, but also because there's some really nasty stuff up there in the mix. Of course, it's luck, so you may end up not having to fight Demise at all. Or you may get imprisoned 3 Horde Girahim and Demise as your first 4. As it was back in normal mode, pouch items still don't work in these fights. You go in with the shield on your back, the hearts in it you have minus life medals, and the potions in effect, 3 or 9 minutes depending on whether the potion medal was with you when you drank the potions. And because this is hero mode, the strategy I recommended of leaving the earlier bosses for later doesn't actually apply here, since you can't use the first Girahim or Scaldera, for example, to heal up after a bad Demise fight, because hearts don't spawn in the field, and since pouch items have no effect here, bringing heart medals ends up having no effect, making Horde one of the biggest challenges in this minigame. And as a reminder, bottled fairies already don't work. Bonus ammo pouches don't work. Nothing works other than what you have on you as you go in. And that about wraps up the difference between normal and hero mode. Side quests, shop, goddess cubes and chests, dungeons, bosses, enemies, items, everything else is exactly the same. And I actually have never had the guts to try it out before. So I recorded my complete first ever hero mode playthrough, and I'm here to tell you guys all about my quest. First of all, I set up some extra rules. The game wouldn't really have any extra challenge if I allowed myself to pop Guardian potions before every boss fight, so I banned those. Shield durability wasn't really a big factor in my previous playthrough, so I decided to up the difficulty on that as well. No upgrades, no Sacred Shield, no Hylian Shield. I have to tank through the entire game with only the initial wooden shield and the initial iron shield. And what difference would it make to limit my shields if I could just carry rejuvenating potions that activate immediately? On the ban list. Other than that, just to cut down on versatility to make me think more and more precisely about everything. I'm also banning heart medals, any heart potion upgrades, stamina potion, bottles 4 and 5, bow upgrades, scattershot, and bottled fairies. No lenience for me. So, how did things end up with all those new rules? Well, honestly, easier than I thought they would. The game absolutely was more challenging, but maybe it's because I got so much practice or something. I was challenged, but it wasn't brutal. It definitely wasn't God of War 1 God difficulty. It was difficulty, yes, but it wasn't like insanely hard to the point where I had to keep resetting. And I think there were only like a couple instances where I felt like I had to back out of the dungeon to sit down and heal up before fighting the boss. The beginning of the game played out as normal, really, like there was nothing different about it at all. I got the scatter shot, I went through Deep Woods, I went through Skyview, I fought Girahim the first, actually without taking any damage, so that was cool. I went through Elden, I did the side quest, I went through the Earth Temple, everything still felt pretty simple. And that was until I got to the mining facility where, and I'm not proud at all of admitting this, I had trouble on Scaldera. I don't know what happened. You guys saw me fight Scaldera before. And now I'm more powerful. Yeah, sure, I take more damage, but big whoop. Like, how did I have so much trouble with this guy? Oh, boy. Yeah, that did. Yeah, it happened. It did happen. Like, using the new Skyward Strike felt really good. I was able to get this Goddess Cube in specific much earlier than intended, and that was a life medal. So that made things a little bit easier on me. So, you know, I had bonus health. That's good stuff. And that was really the only Goddess Cube that I was able to pick up earlier. I didn't really try too hard on the other ones other than this one in Fernwoods. So really the game felt lighter because I wasn't worrying about upgrades. So that gave me a lot of extra rupees, and I wasn't worrying about a lot of potions. So that also gave me a lot of rupees. But it did increase the tension of everything, because I didn't have bottled fairies to help me out. I could have them, yeah, sure, but I didn't. I chose not to. After getting the harp, I did gain access, of course, to Goddess Walls, and things went through as usual. I did have a resting point, so that meant that in dungeons most of the time, I didn't really have to back out in order to find a stool or something to sit down and recover health. I could just, you know, draw a Triforce, get 18 hearts. I got through Skyview Temple the second. The Ancient Cistern was a little bit more difficult because of the whole spin attack consuming more air, but the difficulty wasn't really that increased, because all that happens when you run out of air is that you'll start losing health, and that can definitely be very, very bad. But it didn't matter too much, because the game is very nice about giving you enough air to go around, even if you don't have air potions. The Ancient Cistern, I didn't take any air potions, just because I said, nah, I'm gonna not do it on this one. Galactus was fine, I got to the Sand Ship, Tantalus was fine, actually a little bit easier even, because we have the upgraded Skyward Strike, so it charges much faster. And then the Earth Temple, Girahim II was just the same, honestly. Imprisoned 2 was also the same, basically. Actually, the Imprisoned fights, they were a little bit different, because as I mentioned, with the improved Skyward Strike, which has the power of the Master Sword, it's a lot easier to take down the Toesies of the Imprisoned. So, I think the fights were actually easier in that department. The fun stuff really came when I got the true Master Sword. For those of you who don't remember, when you obtain the true Master Sword from Zelda, you gain an upgrade to the charge time of your Skyward Strike and the stamina that the spin attack consumes. Because we start hero mode with the upgraded Skyward Strike charge time and other stuff, what happens when you obtain the true Master Sword in hero mode from Zelda? Well, Skyward Strike doesn't have a charge time anymore. You just raise it and boom, there you have it. It just feels so good. Oh, I love it. After doing that, we did have the challenge of defeating Bylocide and then going through the 3 regions again to get the Song of the Hero from the dragons. Farron was exactly the same because there's 0 sword fighting. Elden was exactly the same because there was 0 sword fighting. But Lanayru, as I was saying, pretty much the entire game was exactly the same. Not the lightning round. Oh no. The quest for the Life Fruit, it was basically the same thing. I didn't have any trouble at all, it was just as easy. But I did challenge myself to actually beat all 12 fights of the lightning round. And I couldn't do it. Yeah, I'm not proud to admit that, but it was a thing that I tried to do for myself. Once again, I was still under the limitation of no stamina potions and no guardian potions, just for the increase of difficulty, because I could just pick up Demise or Horde or Girahim or the third imprison. Not the third imprison, it's not that difficult. I could just do those while a guardian potion was still in effect, and then just breeze through the earlier bosses because they're just that much easier. So I kept up the ban on guardian potions and stamina potions, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Horde was extremely difficult. After playing through it enough times, I found exactly how the mechanics of Horde works. Basically, you get a round of bokoblins that comes in, and then 1 or 2 infinitely spawning bokoblins. It's not that all of those bokoblins spawn infinitely, no, just a couple of them. So playing it safe felt like it was the best way to go, just to make sure that I didn't lose health. Because, you know, we do make mistakes here and there, like you may take a hit from Scaldera, you may take a hit from Olderark, you may end up getting hit by Tantalus or Galactus. So, saving up as much health as possible is definitely really important. It's not that I can't do it, it's just that I would need potions to do it. And wouldn't you know it, after I actually tried to get through Horde and Girahim 3, I was able to do it, because I had the potions. So it was pretty easy, it wasn't difficult at all. Just because of those extra hearts that come from the 3 potions that I allowed myself to carry. But because we don't have access to those in the lightning round and we have to get through all of those fights with just 18 hearts, it was really difficult. I couldn't get through Horde safely, and that was my only problem. Beating Demise, I was able to actually do it in like a couple minutes. It wasn't really too bad, and if I'm not mistaken, I still have to browse through the footage. I think that I got through him once without taking any damage, or maybe only taking 1 hit. It really wasn't too bad. Demise, yeah, he's dangerous if you don't know how the fight works, but I had enough practice. So it wasn't too bad. Really, my only problem was getting through Horde safe That's what I couldn't do. So, yeah, I failed the Lightning Round plus plus, or as I prefer to call it, Lightning Round Demise. It just sounds cool. Skykeep ended up being exactly the same, and here is where I'm actually gonna show off the one room that we skipped over. And I absolutely used the Vine Skip. I just didn't want to bother with that one room, holy crap. Sue me, I Vine skipped during a casual run. And here's how this room works. We come in, and right off the bat we notice that this is themed after the Earth Temple, maybe the Fire Sanctuary? Not entirely sure. Anyway, there's a thing to move the rooms behind that door. We got a couple of fire choo-choo, so they can be kind of dangerous. And there is the Lizalfos. We're gonna have to find a way to get there, so we just crawl through this hole and then head over to the left, because to the right, yep, the path is blocked by a little bit of rock. So we just grab this bomb flower right here. There we go. Yep, it's blocked by rock. Thanks, Past Red. Just grab the bomb flower and then chuck it over there. I think I missed this one. Yeah, you suck. Okay, there we go. And then you just crawl through over here so you can reach. Da-da-da-da-da. Man, doing post commentary is a lot harder than doing live commentary. Who would have thought? Huh. Oh wow. I could also just have blown up this choo-choo. Like, it wouldn't be too difficult at all. I was just trying to conserve hearts because, once again, this is hero mode. Play it safe. So, this is actually the little puzzle of this room. You have to figure out how to use the gate here, because that gate now moved over to block the door and the panel to move. So, yeah, we gotta find a way to move it back. But for now, we opened it up so we can head over to the next part and fight that Lizalfos. Well, it's a Dark Lizalfos, but, you know, like, there's no difference at all between those two. So, there we go. Use the cool Skyward Strike, instant Skyward Strike, and of course that doesn't affect Lizalfos because they're just too good. But, of course, you just wait for them to back off and then... Yep, finishing blow. That's simple. Okay, now we have the second part of the puzzle right here. That door is locked, and that is actually where we need to go. So this right here tells us that we need to strike 3 switches in a certain order. What order is that? Well, first of all, you just have to blow open these little doors. Behind 3 of them, we will have 3 switches. The second door is right down there. How do you do that? Well, you just have to roll a bomb properly. You just have to roll a bomb properly. You just have to roll a bomb properly. Okay, seriously, what the heck? How did I've never failed that hard, but anyway, if you do fail, there is still something that you can do. But for that, you do need more bombs. If you need to restock on bombs, remember that bomb flower before that little tunnel? That's where you're gonna restock. But those trees right there are what I'm trying to cut right here. But I found out that no matter how hard you try, the Skyward Strike won't reach those because they are at a higher level. But right over here on these spots, we get a bomb drop, so that makes things a little bit easier. But instead of trying to roll it over to that place right there, right down there, I'm gonna use a little trick where I'm just gonna blow up those trees. Or my face. Okay, I'm gonna grab the bomb here and then ram it into the trees. There we go, that actually works. And now using the hook beetle, there's actually a bomb flower spot right here. So you can use that. Yeah, just, you know, think with your items. Once again, this is a Zelda game. So yeah, your items do matter a lot. Use the beetle, blow up some trees, understand the mechanics of the game, even if you have a horrible time with the bomb rolling like I have for the first time ever, I swear. And then boom! That's the tallest switch right behind that door. And the lowest switch, as you would guess, comes right over. Yeah, that's actually what I was trying to do. I was trying to roll a bomb, and you can absolutely do it. I have no idea why I couldn't do it this time. So yeah, you blow it open, and boom, there's the lowest switch. So now you have to hit him from lowest to highest, as the stone told us. This slide will be the death of me. Just wait until I play Mario 64! Okay, strike the lowest. And then climb up on this vine. And then using a Skyward Strike, that's how you're supposed to cut down those trees. But because we understand game mechanics, we use the bomb. Skyward Strike those trees as well. That's how you're supposed to open up those places. But again, bombs. So now just go ahead and hit the lowest to highest. We already hit the lowest. This is the one in the center. And there is the other one that is up high. That opens up the door that will lead us to the next place that we need to be. Whew, puzzling. I love this. This is just so much fun. Anyway, that's how you get back. Just, you can't go back up the slide or anything. Or maybe you can? I don't know. Anyway, there's a digging spot right over here. There's nothing else in this room, so just burrow down. And there, we're back in that room, so just get through this little tunnel. This first one just creates a shortcut. The second one will actually be where we need to be. Hit the bomb once, hit the bomb twice, blow up the rock, hit the switch, and boom, we're done. There we go. Now that we flip the switch, now that part is blocked off, just like it was in the beginning. And the other one is open. Oh, thanks for being so cinematic, Past Red. Wow. Oh wait, you actually still have to barrel one more time! Jeez! How long is this room? Yeah, it takes a long time. You can see why it's definitely really good that we're able to skip this entire room. Anyway, 2 mold arms right here, they're not too bad. As you probably already know, mold arms are actually confined to a certain area, and they won't get past that area, get over that area, so just keep that in mind. You can use that to find safe spaces, which is this little notch right here. It's completely safe to just stand there. The mold arms will never attack you there. So what I did was just wait in that place and hit the mold arms whenever. After I figured out that it was a safe spot, of course. Easy peasy lemon zest. Okay. Now that we've finished off that mini boss fight, we can actually move on to the panel. There we go. There's the switch that opens up the cage that allows you to get the shortcut between the 2 doors in this area, so... Wow! That's the room we skipped in Skykeep. After finishing off Skykeep, I just was able to get through Horde and Girahim. It was a little bit hard because in Horde you end up taking a lot of damage that you don't mean to take, and because they don't drop hearts, then it is a little bit nerve-wracking to get through the place, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. But no, I had health potions on me, so that was fine. It was the lightning round, so no problem at all. And yeah, Girahim the Third, I was actually, I don't know, I had a little bit of trouble there, but all in all, it was a pretty easy fight. I still haven't fought Demise, like, you know, outside the lightning round, just because I was like, oh well. I did it in the lightning round where I didn't actually have any access to any of my pouch items, so that was the harder Demise. And because I beat the hard Demise, I just decided not to beat the easier Demise. Just to, you know, keep the save file right there in the lightning round in case I ever want to come back to it. So yeah, that was my adventure with Hero Mode. And with that, we actually have covered all of the content in Skyward Sword. Wow. Yeah, even making the videos about this game ends up being an adventure. Good lord, I love that. But we're not quite done yet. You might remember that indeed I talked about a lot of problems in this game. Yes, I love it so much. But I will never say that this is a perfect game. What do I think would turn it into a perfect game? Find out next time, where we talk about possible improvements for a possible remake that might possibly be announced in a possible Nintendo Direct, possibly for a release next year, because after all, it is the 35th anniversary of the series, huh? And the 10-year anniversary of Skyward Sword. So on the next episode, we'll talk about all that. See you guys then.